So I was sitting on the couch this morning. I thought to myself, man, I really want to put landing gear on my noob tube. But I land on grass a lot, so I really didn't want wheels. So I started thinking, I watched Flying Wild Alaska, I think it's on the Discovery Channel. And Jim Tweedo's got skis on his plane. And I started thinking, there's a guy I used to follow on YouTube, Lipo Pilot. Some of you guys might know who he is, some of you guys might not. He took his videos down. But he built skis for his planes. He did it a little different than this. But I guess ultimately it really doesn't matter how you do it, it's just about how you do it. So, I'm going to have skis. This is going to be my base. Like this. I'm going to have dowel rods that run this way. And then what that's going to do is I've got it set up so that it'll be just like that. It's going to come down. I'm going to have my ski on here. Like this. It's going to be high enough so my prop doesn't hit the ground. And it should be pretty freaking cool. The best part is it's held on with rubber bands, so it's completely removable. I could also switch it to other planes. So if I build another noob tube, which I'm planning on, but that one's probably not going to have landing gear. But if I build another noob tube, I don't have to rebuild landing gear. I can just swap it. So this is pretty cool. So I'm going to do a little video on it. This is probably going to get edited for time because I hate uploading long videos. It takes forever. So this whole thing ends up being 15¼ inches long from tip to tip. And the center is 5 inches wide, or the long side is 5 inches. My actual marks, the center is 3 inches, or about 3 1/8 actually, which gets me just on each side of my noob tube. The ends are, the end is about 1 inch. So from there I just triangulated everything. Because I'm not doing 90-degree bends, I just cut these, instead of doing Ed's full 1/2 inch paper removal, I only did 1/4 inch. So an 1/8 inch on each side of my mark, and it'll bend perfect, and it'll come out nice. It's going to end up being 10 inches wide, which I figure should work out good, and it's going to get me about 6½ inches with the skis. It'll get the bottom of my noob tube about 6½ inches off the ground, which gives me almost 2 inches of prop clearance with a 10-inch prop. If I have a problem, I'll go back to my 8-inch prop for the landing gear stuff. This is going to add weight and everything anyway, so I'm not really too incredibly worried about it. I got the glue gun heating up. I'm going to start assembling the skis first. I'm going to assemble these, which should be pretty cool. This is just, it's covered on one side. The other side I took the paper off so I could get the bend on it. After I took the paper off, just to kind of get the bend started, I wrapped it around some tape, just kind of get the bend going. I'll tack the front and then I'll wrap it around and final glue it in. Yep, so I just took this. This has got a little shape to them. I can give you guys all the dimensions on this stuff if anybody actually wants it. Otherwise, these are 9½ inches long. I went 2 inches wide, and I just added some shape to it just to make it look cool, so it doesn't look so square. This is just a test for this first one. So we'll see. I figured all this out on paper. I'll have these on the beginning of the thing. I figured it all out on paper, and then I made a template so that I can glue this at the proper angle so I get my correct measurement and everything. We'll see how well that works. And then the dowel rods. Dowel rods, I buy these round dowels. That's what they're called, round dowels. Hardwood. Made with real wood. Wow. So I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. But I guess they're non-synthetic or some crap. Don't really care. What I wanted is, oh, look at that. I bought an 8 count and a freaking 16 count. I didn't even know there were 2 different ones. I just saw 2 different stacks and I bought them. But they're 3/16s. 3/16 dowel rod. These are going to go right here. So what I'm going to do is when I go to set this, I'm gonna put a bead of glue in. This has got, I cut a little deep. So I'm gonna put a little glue in there, kind of get it up where I want it. Put the dowel rod in there. Use my template, which I cut the corners out so my dowel rod doesn't interfere. And then I'll hold it where I want it. Glue it up. It should be good to go. For right now, let's go ahead and just leave that alone. My dogs are trying to use my plane as a chew toy. So I'm going to go about 7 inches, which gives me an inch on either side for the rubber band. The easiest way to cut these is just mark where you want, roll them back and forth, and then snap right off. Makes a nice clean cut. Nice sharp blade helps too, but I usually like to use the dull ones because they're still good for cutting wood, they're just not good for cutting foam. So I'm going to do that, get that all glued up, and then what I'm going to do is, this is also going to get cross braced, so it'll end up having dowel rods go from here probably all the way down to here. I'm going to double up this end and put all this stuff together. So let's see if we're ready to nice on that. Let's go ahead. I'll reinforce that more. I want to get all this down first. I'm just kind of eyeballing the placement right now. Frankly, great thing about this hobby, doesn't have to be perfect, just has to work. Here we go, bam. So we got our initial shape right there, right? I got dowel rods in there to help hold everything. I'm going to drop a fat bead of glue in here to help give this some strength. And a wet finger to help kind of smooth it out. Being kind of sloppy, I'm usually a lot cleaner with my glue application, but this is really about strength. So kind of loading it in there a little bit. Really need to get a higher wattage glue gun. that'll be next on my shopping list. Wow, that's already really, I mean, I can't believe how strong that is just by doing that. I mean, that's pretty firm. I'm going to do the same thing down here, but they won't stick out, of course. So that's where my rubber bands are going to go. It's going to go just like that. So I'm going to have a rubber band that's going to go right around in front of my battery flap. We have one that goes behind and goes underneath where the wing mounts. It's definitely forward to my CG, because my CG is about right here. So it's probably close to, I don't know, a good 4 inches in front of my CG, which I think is important for landing gear. Because what you don't want is you don't want the thing tipping over noseways. So I've got it far enough forward where I think it'll be alright. And you can see the dowel rods are just on either side of the fuselage. I mean, barely. That's exactly what I wanted. That'll keep them from shifting this way. I'm also going to have, I've got some like sticky foam that I actually bought from Menards a long time ago when I was fixing my windows. I had old windows in the house and I was using foam on the edges to seal them. I'm going to run 2 strips, maybe even 3 strips of that on here, so that when I rubber band it down, it's going to hold it really tight and keep it from shifting around. So these are going to be more of a exact size than the other ones, just because these I really don't want sticking out. Do a little mark. That's not a bad mark. I guess it is. Alright, so I'm going to do these. Basically the same thing, except what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball square when I do them. Put the hot glue on there. Roll it in there a little bit. Again, I'm just eyeballing this. Just because this is going to end up being held straight by the bottom dowel rod anyway. But I'm going to have a dowel rod that goes all the way through that helps hold this all together. Now, I'm making this to work on grass, but I suppose if I were to seal all of this, which I may do, it'd probably work pretty darn good in the winter. I've never done a lot of winter flying because I have a hard time, my hands always get really cold. So, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I may try this in the winter. Let's get that kind of set up. It holds its shape. Hold it, bend it up 90 degrees so that it looks pretty square to me. Where we kind of want. So I'm going to end up doing again, this is like a strength thing, so I'm going to kind of load this up a little. Man, I just can't believe how rigid this stuff gets with just that. Dowel rod is awesome stuff. I actually, on my last noob tube, I needed to strengthen this up because I thought it was a little weak. You know, the air or the vertical to the horizontal stabilizer. So what I did is I put a dowel rod in it, just like that. Just lay it right in there after I glued it, and then glue it again. Man, does that make a big difference. It's super stiff. Another thing that I do, I actually remove the tape and the paper right where this goes on the horizontal stabilizer. I'll cut that tape and paper off just a touch smaller than the actual foam than the width of this, or exactly the same. And that way, when I glue it, I'm getting foam, I'm getting paper, I'm getting tape, and it's adhering to everything. It just makes this so much more durable. My first one, I had a problem with that coming loose. It actually, because it was only glued to the tape, it pulled the paper and the tape up, and it was flopping all over the place. So I had to come up with a way to fix that. So that's how I did it. I cut the tape and the paper off, glued it back on, used dowel rod on each side. It was great. This one I haven't done dowel rod. I've flown this probably, I don't know, 10 times. It's been fine. Alright, I'm going to cut some little pieces here. I'm just going to go 1 inch by 3/4, just to fill in the bottom. Like this. Sorry, I'm working from my kitchen table. I don't have a whole lot of room. 1 inch. 1 inch. Eyeball square. This doesn't need to be perfect. This is just extra material to make sure that it's make sure my mounting point is strong. I don't want this thing falling apart on me, so I'm going to glue this in there like that. That's where my hinge is going to, or my axle is going to end up going. So I'm going to smear a bunch of hot glue in there. Shove that on. This is the test piece. I'm building this, and I don't know. I'm talking like I've already built one before. I haven't. This is the first one I've done. This is just an idea I had this morning, and I don't know, I got inspired, so I started sketching it out, and after I sketched it out, I just started cutting. I'm just putting some glue over the two pieces and kind of smoothing it over, using kind of like an ironing technique, I guess. The only reason I'm doing that is just to help hold all the foam and the paper and everything together, so nothing. Maybe it has a little more. I don't know if you can hear my dogs. It's like Animal Planet in here sometimes. They fight constantly. Well, not constantly, but they're always messing. Alright, so far looking really good. Whoa, it's not dry. I almost glued it to my table. That would have been bad. Just get a measurement on this, make sure I'm kind of in the ballpark. 10 inches, looks good. I'm going to just kind of eyeball center on this and poke this through. I probably could have done a better job with that. Whatever. Like I said, this is the test piece. I may end up making another one just for giggles. I'm actually going to drill that. Because I don't like poking stuff through. Starts tearing stuff up, so I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to drill this. This is probably just a little smaller than the dowel rod is, which is what you want. Oh, yeah, that'll fit perfect. Alright, I'm going to leave this the full 12 inches, which is going to give me an inch on each side to mount my skis. Shove it through on that side. Shove it through on this side. Alright, now we're going to square this up a little bit. It's going to be a little more accurate. I want it to be 10 inches. I'm going to push it in just a little bit. Alright, so now I'm at my 10 inches. This side isn't quite 90 degrees. It's alright. Let's check our axles. We've got about an inch. An inch. 1 inch. Alright, so I got an inch on both sides. Now, what I wanted to do, because I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I'm only doing single shear, which basically means all I'm going to do is I'm only going to put this on one side. I'm hoping that it's strong enough like that. If not, I'm not going to glue this dowel rod, because then what I can do is I can actually take this, make another set of skis, make a double shear. It'll be super strong. I don't have to worry about anything. So right now I'm going to do single shear. Why? I don't know. Just because, why not? Alright, so we got that. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to do my cross bracing, which is pretty much going to go, I'm going to go just a little off center of the axle. Go right there. I'm going to go crossways, so it's going to go right there. Now, the great thing about doing this stuff, you know, I'm sure everybody that does this is probably pretty good at math or good at science or whatever. You know, if you want to make something perfectly square and you got two things that are exactly the same, like bam, this is going to make this thing perfectly square. Because I'm going to go from there to there, and then I'm going to go from there to there, and then I'm going to push that together when I glue it. Now I'm going to have that. So now it's triangulated, so it's going to be really strong side to side. It's not going to move around, it's not going to flex. And I may actually just let me push these together like that. Push them together like that, and then that way I can glue them even in the middle. So I'm going to run that one just front, that one just behind. So now I should be, let me just eyeball this. Oh, it's looking great. She's square, she looks good. Let's go ahead and kind of tack this in. Just get it where I want it. It's okay to tack stuff. Tacking is good. Tack stuff together first, then you can eyeball it, make sure everything's good. Then you do your final gluing. You know, I just want to make sure that it looks right. Does it look good? Is anything at a weird angle? It's actually looking almost a little crooked. Make sure I pull it out, because I don't like that. Hey, good thing I tacked it. Oops. Not looking square to me. Let's get a measurement. 4 1/4 to the top. 1 1/2. We're higher on that side. So I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bend that a little bit. Kind of even this out. I'll get the axle centered afterwards because I'm not gluing it in. But 4 1/2. A little less. A little under 4 1/2. A little under 4 1/2. I like that better. Okay. So let's go ahead and glue this one in really good. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm just basically going to drop a bunch of glue on there and then smooth it out with my finger a little bit, with a wet finger. Careful, this stuff's hot. So don't do this unless you know you're not going to burn yourself. Well, let's see, that's our other piece. Get it in there. I have to trim a little off. A little long. Yeah, it looks better. Yeah, I like that. Now I'm happy with it. Sometimes you just gotta play with stuff, get it right, you know? Yeah, it's just better to get it right. Even though this is just a test piece, I still want to get it, you know, kind of right. Definitely doesn't have to be perfect, but I feel like I'm going to learn a lot from this one. I like to do this little smearing and kind of roll it out a little bit because it really helps add a little bit of strength and durability, especially when you're working with dowel rod. I built a whole frame out of dowel rod, and it's actually pretty strong with a little bit of give to it. It's all about how you make the joints. Man, that's going to be great. I like it. Alright, now we're just going to add some. Just put a little bit of glue in this. That's really just to kind of, you know, add a little strength, hold it together a touch. No suspension. There is no give on this. I may end up changing that. If I was going to change that, I'd add probably something in here. I don't know. I'd figure out a way to do it. I thought about just making these perfectly straight, gluing the axles in. And adding something to strengthen it. I don't know. I haven't really figured that out yet. I may end up doing that, but for right now, I think I'm going to be alright just doing it this way. I'm pretty good at landings. I don't do real hard landings, especially just lots of practice with the belly landing. So, alright. So we're going to set that off to the side, let that kind of cool down, get strong, blah, blah, blah. Actually, no. Forget that. Let's mount it to the plane. I want to see what it looks like on the plane. Let me get these out of the way. Let's see what happens. Now this is the part of the fuselage that it is doubled up. I have the extra support because I have a door here, so that's why I think I'm going to be okay with putting this on here, right by, right on the weak part of the plane. Yeah, these are the same rubber bands I use for the wing, no different. Man, even with no foam on the bottom, it's a pretty solid mount, and I'm only using 2 rubber bands. Man, that's going to be nice. Tons of clearance. Once I get the skis out, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to fly this today. We're dealing with a little bit of rain, off and on, thunderstorms. The weather's been really bizarre lately. But, man, I'm really hoping I can just get it outside and test it today. Alright, let's try this. So we're seeing happens. I'm gonna start these about a 1/2 inch back. So I'm gonna dab it a glue there, get it right in the middle. I'm gonna do it like this. Rolling stuff on this is kind of hard. I'm gonna start right there. If I get a pretty good bite. I'm just eyeballing the 90 degrees. You know, I guess if I was gonna throw another one, maybe I'd take a little more time. This is just an idea. I just want to see if it's gonna work. Kind of hold it right eyeball in the middle of the ski. Man, this is gonna be cool. I can't wait. Again, this is a strength thing, so I'm gonna run a nice bead along here. This I'm actually being a little less generous with. Back. Uh-oh, it came off on the front. I thought that might be an issue. I'm going to do a little bit more glue. It's because it doesn't have paper on it. This hot glue does tend to have a little problem sticking to just straight foam. Thought maybe on the next one I use Gorilla Glue. I don't know. Just an idea. I'm going to add a little more glue on this. Try to get the strength in it. Last thing I want is this thing to come apart on a landing. Alright, so I got a ski. Do that so you can kind of see the contrast. Bam, here's the bottom. It's got a nice roll to it. I use my French curve. I got a French curve. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of clear. A French curve, I use that to draw out the curve on this just because I want a nice flowing curve. You free-handed, I'm sure. I probably could have. I don't know, wanted to make a really nice curve, so I pulled that out. So bam, there you go, ski. One ski. I'm going to do, overall length on these should be right around 9 inches. Yeah, it's 9 inches. So I'm going to go about 4.5, and that's going to be my mounting point. Again, I'm going to kind of eyeball this. And the other one I'll measure. I think it's going to end up going right there. I've got it marked out. You know what I'm going to do? I wanted to try something. I had an idea. If you take hot glue and smear it on both sides of the point of where it's going to go. Dang it, it's still tacky. You smear hot glue through it. I'm going to wait till that dries. Until it completely cools off. And then if I drill that hot glue will help strengthen the area. So there's one. What's going on? Wait for this to dry a little bit. get impatient. This isn't even pulled off yet, and I'm already ready to go. See what I can do? I marked the center line, so I kind of know where the glue's already got to go. Obviously. Look at that. It's nice. In the middle, looks good. I really like the shape of these skis. It's cool. It's really cool looking. With the kind of looks like an old casket. I don't know why that's cool, but it is. But it's black. Alright. So we already learned on the other one that the front is going to have a hard time holding, so I'm going to put a whole bunch of glue on that right now. See that? Put a bunch of glue on that, wrapped it around. That should create a nice strong joint. That was hot. That one actually burned my finger. The rest of this I'm just doing kind of a, I'm not doing a crazy amount of glue, I'm just doing a little bit of glue. Filling it in. Hold it on there, it should be fine. Smooth it, make it look nice. See that? Oh, ready to go. 2 skis. Alright, let's line these up. I'm going to mark where I'm going to put my hole. See that fits. Okay. What we're going to do, I'm going to up the size of the hole on this to go bigger than the other, or at least closer to the same size. I left that one a little smaller just so that it had more friction to hold it. There we go, now it slides out nice and easy. Can you understand it? Oh man, that's awesome. Oh man, is this awesome. This is really cool. Look at this. It's on there. It rotates. I'm going to tell you why it rotates in a minute. Because you got to have it hang down. So I'm going to end up putting like a little, I'm probably going to do a rubber band that just goes from here up to there. And that's just going to provide a little bit of tension, help hold this like this in the air. So when I land, it touches with the back of the skis first. Oh man, this is going to be awesome. double shear is probably a better idea. I'm going to tell you that right now. I kind of wish I had done that. Sorry. Double shear is literally as easy as making another set of skis, and I already have the pattern, so it's not a big deal. Alright, so I've got... I got skis on my noob tube. Yeah, they move around a little. They're not perfect. But man, they're going to work. Oh, I can't wait to go try this. My thought was just to use rubber bands to hold this on. I suppose I could do that actually. I just went like that, like that. Actually, if I just went like that, I can hold that on. Oh, and it gives me a little bit of suspension. Hey, look at that! I just designed that. I designed that just now. Many hours of planning went into figuring out how to hold these on. Lots of time. Yeah, it holds them in, makes them secure. Look at that. That's freaking beautiful. And it gives them just a little bit of suspension, so as they start to hit stuff, it'll hopefully keep them from flopping around. And they're not going to come off. Double shear. The next set's going to be double shear, for sure. This is awesome. I want to go fly right now. Plenty of prop clearance. If I got it up level, I've got about 1.5 inches at level, but in all reality, it's not going to be level for very long because it'll come off the ground. So, wow, this is awesome. All right, the only thing I want to add one thing. Tongue depressor. I'm going to put a tongue depressor on the back like this. The only reason why is because that should help kind of keep the tail off the ground. So what's that? Put it on the inside. I'm going to put it on the inside. Why? Why not? This may not end up working real well. The tongue depressor. The ski's going to work awesome. You can see it already. So now I'll be able to take off from the ground. I'll be able to land on the grass and take off again. I wanted to be able to do touching goes. That's actually why I thought about this. So I really want to do touching goes. Because it's fun. Yeah, it gives it a little something on the back. I mean, it's not great. I could probably take and make another ski for the back if I really, really wanted to, but I don't really want to. So this is going to end up being just like this. I like it. Let's go fly it.